Hello everybody, John12 back here again with another video, and I'm here to give you my official review for The Flash Season 2, Episode 2, The Flash of Two Worlds. Now, of course, if you've not seen this episode, please go check it out because this review may contain spoilers, but let's get right into The Flash of Two Worlds. Now, obviously, leading right after the gigantic cliffhanger of last week's episode, Jay Garrick has officially come on to Star Labs, introducing himself as Jay Garrick, and of course announcing to all of Team Flash that their world is obviously in danger. And we got some amazing plot points as to, just overall setups for the remainder of Season 2, which is Jay Garrick's foretelling of what dangers could come towards Team Flash for the remainder of this season, which is pretty interesting. And of course, it's all done with various dialogue that's spread through Jay Garrick's moments with Team Flash, and obviously some very interesting flashbacks that we get from Zoom. And obviously, we get to see our first actual full-length glimpse at Zoom, which was really badass. I think it's really cool how they did him. I don't really know exactly at this point in time what kind of version of Zoom they're going for. Before the season started, I originally thought that they were going for a Hunter Zolomon kind of Zoom, but from what I'm kind of guessing, from the way Jay Garrick is kind of explaining who Zoom really is through the flashbacks that Jay Garrick was giving when he was talking to Barry and the rest of the team, it kind of feels like the Zoom in this season is kind of like a fusion of like multiple Reverse Flashes, a little bit of Hunter Zolomon sprinkled in there, and more greatly, like the Demon Flash. He's or the Black Flash, whichever you want to go with. He's kind of like a fusion of all of those into one, because based off what Jay Garrick is kind of hinting at with his last battle with Zoom before he was sucked into Earth 1, and yes, it was introduced in this episode that there is Earth 2. That is a major factor in this season. Apparently, Jay Garrick comes from Earth 2, and when the Singularity broke out, he was sucked into Earth 1, and that's why all these metahumans are escaping from Earth 2 over to Earth 1, which is where Barry and the rest of the team lives. But that being said, apparently what Zoom really wants is to destroy and take away the Speed Force from every speedster in any ever universe, so he can be the greatest speedster of all time. So that's pretty much what he's trying to get at. Essentially, he's just trying to take all the speedsters out from every universe, so he would be the only speedster, because his passion is to be the best speedster. That's pretty much his passion. He doesn't want to destroy the world. He doesn't want to be a hero. He just wants to be the best. So that's essentially the drive that is really giving Zoom, his pretty much his sadistic kind of evil plots for the rest of the season, which is really interesting. And also Tony Todd's voice as Zoom. Great, fucking awesome. I thought it was an amazing choice to get Tony Todd over to the Flash CW show to have him voice a villainous character, and I think he did a great job. And his voice is so freaking dark and so deep, and it's the Candyman. It's the fucking Candyman. Come on, you just gotta love that. But overall, it was really awesome to see Jay Garrick's flashbacks and trying to get him to really speak his piece on the whole occasion. I think it's a real downer that he doesn't have his Speed Force. I think it would have been it would have been really tits if, like, you had both Flashes, like, running around at the same time, like, saving people around Central City. Jay Garrick and fucking Barry just running around saving people. I think that would have been really boss. Unfortunately, due to, I guess, the Singularity thing happening and his battle with Zoom, apparently his Speed Force is gone, so he doesn't have the Speed Force, so he can't really prove that he's actually the Flash from another world. That's kind of like the overall plot of this episode. And on top of that, Barry doesn't trust Jay Garrick due to his relationship with Harrison Wells, so he's pretty much being a little cunt to him throughout the entire episode, which I have to admit I do agree with. I mean, like, at first when I saw the episode, my first viewing of it, I thought it was a real cunt move for Barry to be like, like all mean to Jay. I mean, like, as a hardcore comic book guy and as a fan of the golden age of the DC universe, I'm like, it's Jay Garrick. Why can't you be buddy buddy? You're supposed to be buddy buddy. You can't. I mean, like, it's one thing to like root for Batman and Superman to fight, or Captain America and Iron Man to fight, but you're both the Flash. You're supposed to be buddies, you know, but whatever. He wants to be a little priss about it, whatever, who cares? We'll wait till the end of the episode when they team up finally and they become, you know, the dynamic duo of the Flash universe, which is pretty much what happens in this episode. Essentially, we have a new villain coming in, another villain of the week, Sand Demon, as Jay Garrick pronounces, and Cisco Ramon pretty much discounts but also agrees with as a really cool name. And of course, he's brought into Earth 1 by Zoom to destroy the Flash, because obviously his plot is to destroy every Flash from every speedster, every freaking universe, so that's pretty much his goal. And it's, you know, now that he's taken the Speed Force from Jay, he's on to Earth 1 to take out Barry. So that's pretty much what he's doing, and he sends in Sand Demon, and I guess that's pretty much the plot device that the CW writers are going to be using for the remainder of this season, which, I'm kind of meh about, but it was pretty cool how they did Sand Demon. I think the effects were really amazing. I mean, like, usually if the effects with, you know, the early episodes of The Flash are usually kind of boring and, like, kind of, like, whatever, but they're really kicking it up a notch. I mean, last week's episode, the effects were kind of, like, whatever, because, you know, obviously it's very difficult to do Atom Smasher with a TV budget, but, God, they're just amping up the effects. I mean, the effects in this episode were freaking amazing. I mean, the singularities were awesome. The fight between Jay Garrick and Zoom were awesome. The fight between both Flashes and Sand Demon were amazing. And the cinematics, just in general, were really grand, and I like that. But overall, moving into that, we got some really interesting talks with, you know, obviously Professor Stein, talking about, you know, the singularity, talking about, you know, parallel universes, the fact that there's, you know, multiple Earths out there with multiple Barrys and multiple other kind of versions of us that could be doing various different kind of things, which really opens up the idea of, like, what can we really expect from these other universes for the remainder of this series? It really opens up the idea, and my plan is, at least my idea is, my prediction is, it's like, what if Zoom and the rest of the villains that could end up coming for the remainder of this season, what if they're just parallel versions of Team Flash? That's been the prediction that's been going out lately on the internet, that apparently Zoom is actually an evil Barry from Earth 2. Is that possible? I have no idea. Basically, from what Stein said, he kind of just like, what about you, Barry? Maybe in Earth 2 you're not the Flash. Maybe you're someone else, you know? It's kind of just that idea thrown out there. It's just like, who is Zoom? We don't know. He's obviously from Earth 2. He arrived there shortly, like, after Jay Garrick got his powers. So, is he originally from Earth 2? Or is he just, you know, just an evil version of Barry? Who the hell knows? And also, here's another interesting prediction. What if Killer Frost, Caitlin Snow, what if she does become Killer Frost, but it's a Killer Frost from Earth 2? That's just a little speculation there, because obviously, if you remember back in the season finale of last season, we obviously got a little glimpse of Caitlin Snow as Killer Frost. Obviously, she still has not really pronounced that she has any powers, with the exception of Vibe, Cisco. He's kind of like obviously dealing with a lot this episode, and we can tell that he's obviously going to deal with a lot in this season with trying to control his powers and understand them. However, with Caitlin Snow, she hasn't really shown that she has any kind of powers. She hasn't really been aware or like scared that she has her own powers. Granted, we haven't really had a POV episode with her lately, or I guess at all, with the exception of like, you know, maybe that one episode when she was like trying to find Ronnie last season. But other than that, she kind of hasn't really had her own POV episodes. So maybe she does have powers, but my prediction is maybe Caitlin Snow in Earth 2, maybe she's Killer Frost. That's just a little, you know, just a prediction thing, because, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's inevitable that we will be seeing alternate versions of Team Flash, possibly, and if Killer Frost is not going to show up on Earth 1, I think it would just be more of just a better choice to just go with Earth 2. But with that being said, really awesome stuff. We got some other glimpses and some other introductions for newer characters. We got to see Joe's former wife, Iris's mom, show up on the show. We already knew that was going to come this season. I'm surprised they did it so early. I don't know how she's going to factor into the series or into the season, but it's going to be interesting to see how she comes into picture. It's really gonna be interesting. Maybe she has something to do with Wally. I don't know. We'll see what happens because Wally West is eventually gonna show up this season. At what capacity we don't know yet, but we'll have to wait and see. And of course, we got to see Patty Spivot. She's the newest character that's come onto the Flash universe, the Flash series, and yeah, I wasn't really big on her. I really felt like when I first heard that Patty was going to show up on the series, I originally was like very happy about that because Patty's obviously an important character from the Flash mythos in the comic books. She's kind of been a speedster at some points. She's been a cop. She's been a forensic scientist. She's been a love interest to Barry Allen or the Flash in general. So she's been a big part of the Flash universe. However, she didn't really do it for me in this episode. I feel like she didn't have a lot to do, and everything that they had her do was really unimportant and uneventful for me. She's obviously, based off her backstory, she's obsessed with trying to get on Joe's metahuman task force that he was trying to develop last week, but obviously failed at, and she wants to do it because the weather wizard, based off what she said, she's like, she's obsessed with the weather wizard because he killed her father, and freaking, she's angry at the world because it's not fair that these villains, these criminals, got superpowers. And now that they're metahumans, it's our job to stop them because they don't deserve these powers. That's kind of like what she was getting at. And I'm like, I don't care that much. There's not enough plot with her to really have me care. I mean, the last 5 minutes, like that one scene where she was like, telling her history, and Joe's like, show up tomorrow because you're joining the force. And I was like, yeah, that's fucking cool, but they should have had that like all this episode. I mean, everything else she was in was like, meh. I can already see her history. She's gonna be on the task force. She's gonna she's gonna be Joe's new partner. She's gonna eventually join Team Flash. She's gonna, start having a lovey-dovey relationship with Barry because that's already been hinted. She's gonna be a love interest, and she's gonna freaking join Team Flash, and possibly she'll end up dying at the end of this episode, or possibly joining Legends of Tomorrow, or some said shit. I don't know. That's kind of like my prediction for her character, and I'm kind of like, I don't really want to see that. I think there's enough people on Team Flash. And there's enough people who know Flash's secret identity. I think it's okay if we keep these two characters separated for now. Maybe do that for like next season or something, but for now, just let it go. Like, Barry has enough enough emotional problems dealing with the death of Eddie and Ronnie, and trying to save the city, than trying to deal with his freaking love life that's never gonna go anywhere because inevitably he's supposed to be with Iris. We already know that, but what are you gonna do? It's a weird situation. I personally wish they would just. I want more stronger female superheroes, and the CW hasn't really done a great job at showing me that. I mean, yeah, they gave us Sarah, the original Black Canary, and that's fucking awesome. She was amazing, and she's coming back for Legends Tomorrow, and I can't wait to see that. And I can't wait to see Hawkgirl. I can't wait to see these characters, but they haven't really done the greatest job of writing these female characters. I think they definitely have done a better job at writing Iris this season so far. But overall, it's just like, give me some more badass female characters. And she definitely was not one of them. A lot of fans are loving her right now, and that's awesome. But for me, she was kind of just a nuisance in this. She was an uneventful character in this episode. I feel like the last 5 minutes was the best part of her. And if that was it, then fuck it, I don't really care. I definitely can see myself liking her character over time, but as of right now, I'm not really big on it. But that being said, overall, freaking amazing episode. I love it way more. I think this was just a much more bigger and eventful episode than last week's. I loved last week's, but I will agree with some of the fans that it was kind of uneventful and there wasn't a lot to it, and there definitely should have been more, and it was kind of disappointing. I can understand where fans were coming from, but for me, I loved last week's episode, but this week, fucking blew it out of the water. Jay Garrick kicked ass. I think the actor they got was amazing. Or, Zoom, freaking awesome. Tony Todd's voice, great. Barry versus Jay kind of moments were pretty funny and cool. I like Caitlin Snow's, developing relationship with Jay Garrick. I know a lot of the Robbie Amell fans are going to hate that shit, but I personally love it. I think it's cool. Let's just face it, Ronnie's dead. He's dead and he's gone for good. At least from what I've been hearing, Robbie Amell is not going to be coming back as Arani for sure, so that's why they're bringing on the new Firestorm, which we'll obviously be seeing in future episodes. So yeah, Robbie Amell is gone, so I'm all for this Jay Garrick, Caitlin Snow thing. I know some fans may be like, I don't like that. I personally think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think Jay Garrick is a freaking amazing character. And I think, based off what I've seen, Caitlin Snow and Jay Garrick have a pretty good connection with each other. So I think they can really have a lot in common with in future episodes. And plus, we need some more Caitlin Snow episodes. I mean, I'm just saying, she does not get a lot to do in this show. And that's a fucking... I mean, like, I love Cisco, but we need to have her have some more POV episodes. She needs more. And if she has to share them with Jay, then so be it. But that being said, final verdict is an 8 out of 10. I love this episode. I think it was awesome. I think it's just like, it's a perfect representation of last season. It's just that the first couple episodes are kind of rough, but as time goes on with every new episode, it just gets better and better and better. It just stacks up on top of another, on another and another and another. It's not like shows like Arrow or like other shows like that where it's just stagnant and just average. It just gets better and better and better with every new week's episode, and I love that. But overall, 8 out of 10 for me. I love this episode. There were some things I did not like, obviously, like like Barry versus Jay Garrick. I wasn't a fan of that kind of stuff. I wasn't a fan of Patty Spivot. I just not really interested to see the future of her character. I wasn't really big on that. There was just some... I'm just not a big fan of this villain of the week kind of thing. I get it. I get the plot device. It's like, oh, Earth 2 is a thing. There's 52 parallel, universes out there. Wink, wink, whatever. Is there a Batman on one of them? I just want to know, is there a Batman on one of them? Just tell me already. I want to fucking see. But anyways, with that fucking thrown aside, I'm kind of sick of the villain of the week. Let's focus on Zoom, the real threat. If he's the actual threat, let's focus on him. Why are we focusing on these other fucking schmucks who are, which is another big problem, is that, why do you keep killing them? What's with the killing of the villain? They killed Atom Smasher, and I can be like, okay, sure. I mean, like, he was an overpowered character, so, yeah, kill him. Sand Demon, too. It's like, what the fuck? Why'd you just kill that fucking dude? I'm pretty sure there was some kind of way to take him out. I mean, like, you took out the Mist guy, the fucking Victor Zsasz motherfucker, and you can't take out the Sand guy? You took out the Mist guy, and he was made of mist. And this guy's made of sand. You can't... I don't know. It was a weird situation. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but I really don't know what to think about this new motto with Team Flash, where it's like, let's kill all our villains. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know what the hell they're thinking, but I hope they really fix this problem with future episodes. But let's see what happens because, granted, the villains are kind of like, they are villains, and there's no denial on that, but all they really want is to go back home. So you're basically taking away the one thing they really want, which is to go back home. I mean, granted, they're villains, they're evil people, but, at the end of the day, evil people have rights. That's why we put people in jail. We don't execute them immediately, even though sometimes you should, depending on the crime. But if you're just a dude who's like, you were sucked away from another planet into another fucking planet, and some guy's like, kill this one person or stay here forever, just send them home. Don't fucking kill them. Just be like, you want to go home? Here's a singularity. I'm going to run around in a circle real quick for you, and then bam, throw in another world. I don't know. It's just a real weird situation. I just hope they at least address it, where it's like, does anybody know us? We'll be killing people a lot? I don't know. Cisco, fucking awesome. Hilarious stuff. I really can't wait to see what they do with his Vibe character. It's very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens with the future of that character. But overall, there's just very minimal things I hated about this episode. It was just a really solid, great episode. The effects were awesome. The acting was great. The performances, the presence were great. Jay Garrick and Barry Allen moments were all... I mean, that ending where they freaking stop Sand Demon, and they're like, fuck yeah, and then they fucking, they run after Patty when she's, like, calling out for the Flash, and they're like, I'm coming, and it's like, fuck yeah, that's the fucking, and they recreated the cover of the Flash of Two Worlds comic book, their first introduction of the two characters. They recreated that. I mean, like, not to a T, obviously. They did their own version, but they did an awesome job at recreating that. Kudos to the Flash for doing that. It was awesome. I love this episode. Let me know what you personally think about this episode in the comment section below. What are your personal thoughts on Zoom, Jay Garrick, the future of Team Flash, freaking Firestorm? What's going to happen with that? Obviously, Stein, the big cliffhanger for this episode is Stein is out cold. Is that because he's had too much time away from Ronnie, from the Firestorm Matrix? So now he's starting to act out and he's starting to die or something. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we're going to be getting a new Firestorm coming in. So is this going to factor into that? We'll have to wait and see. Let me know your personal thoughts on that. And of course, finally, they brought back the Flash, the post-Flash logo sequence. Freaking Harrison Wells is back. I fucking can't wait. Tom Cavanaugh, thank God he's back. I really hope he's not the villain. I'm praying. Just, don't do it again. It's just, you don't need it. I mean, Tom Cavanaugh coming back is awesome. We got a good glimpse of Earth 2, or maybe it was Earth 2. I don't know. I'm guessing it's Earth 2. Had a very Tomorrowland kind of fucking Disneyland kind of feel to it, which was hilarious. But yeah, Harrison Wells is back. What is the future plans of that character? Is he Zoom? Is he Reverse Flash? Is he a regular Flash? Is he a hero? Is he a good guy? Is he going to help Team Flash with anything? We'll have to wait and see. Let me know your prediction on that. And of course, your big prediction, which is, who is Zoom? Who is he? Is he Wally West? Is he Jay Garrick? Is he an evil version of Barry? Is he Harrison Wells again? Let me know your predictions for that character in the comment section below. And of course, I can't wait to see next week's episode, which of course, the Rogues, they're coming back. I'm not a real big fan of that because, you know, the Rogues don't seem to really get away with anything at all. But hell, Michael Ironside's coming to town, and I love that fucking guy. So I can't wait to see him come into Central City and kick some ass. So let's see what happens next week. Overall, this has been my personal thoughts on The Flash, Season 2, Episode 2, Flash of Two Worlds. Let me know your personal thoughts on it in the comment section below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, @Jonks12, if you've not done so already. And if you also haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and this has been Jonks12.